Greetings all, this is Justin here.
And this is Hairy Nick. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing really well, man.
Excellent. Now, we recorded a little while ago a video on what to buy to start out in the world of Imperial in X-Wing.
The correct choice.
The correct choice, apparently,
Yes.
according to some people.
Yeah.
And, hey, we need to get on to Rebel and Scum, because Christmas is just round the corner. In fact, it's less than 2 weeks away now.
Don't tell me that. Really don't.
Really? No?
No. I already have no money. I don't need to spend more of my non-existent money.
Justin, none of us have money. We're X-Wing players. It's all good. You're amongst friends. So, yes, let's have a chat about Rebels today, about what expansions would be a great starting point for new players who either want to play casually or want to get straight into competitive stuff. This is a list of things which I think, and Justin thinks as well, that makes a lot of sense. It's a great starting point. Things that offer a lot, give you a powerful ship, give you a powerful bunch of upgrade cards and pilots and whatever. Before we start, I just want to say that this is very much our opinion. Please, if you love the look of a ship and you want to give it a go, don't let us say, hey, you can't fly that because it wasn't on Nick's list. Look, give it a go. I mean, if you played Jedi Knight back in the day and you really want to fly the Hawk, do it. It's a fun ship. It's not on any of these lists.
Or the U-Wing.
Or the U-Wing, yeah. Look, the U-Wing's not that powerful.
No.
It's an interesting ship, but just hasn't punched into the top echelons of the meta, unfortunately. Now, before we get into the honourable mentions and the single ships or whatever, let's just talk about the core sets, because I think this is a very tempting thing for a lot of players to go, oh, look, we get an X-Wing and some pilots in either core sets. And I just want to say, in terms of what you get as a Rebel player, you don't get a lot out of these core sets. So if you want to have the templates and the dice and everything, and this is the way you want to do that, sure, go ahead. But if you're literally starting from zero, you could consider just buying aftermarket templates and dice and getting asteroids and stuff aftermarket. Now, you must use the official asteroids. As of this point in time, you cannot use acrylic asteroids. That is an important thing. I think FFG just wanted more control over the pool of asteroids that are available to players, but you cannot go out and buy acrylic ones and use them at tournaments unless the TO is really cool. But we've got regionals coming up. Don't just take acrylic asteroids to regionals. You might have a very bad day if you do that. In the core sets, in the original you get R2-D2, and in the newer one you get BB-8, and they're probably like the most interesting cards that you get in those in terms of fun competitive play for Rebels.
Yeah, even the actual cards for the ships.
Yeah, the pilots aren't that good. You get PS8 Poe in the Force Awakens core set, and that's good. That makes its way into a few better lists. But all in all, as the Rebel player, you don't get a lot of this. So unless you want the templates and the dice, I would actually overlook the core set. If you can get around needing those things, absolutely just look at not buying it altogether. For sure. But before we start and the actual list here, let's talk about some honourable mentions. We have the ARC 170, Sabine's TIE, the YT 2400, and the Skirg Bomber. And the reason I put these here is because you get good ships out of the pack.
Yeah.
In fact, you get really good ships out of the pack. All of these have solid builds which make it into tier 1 lists, but you don't get stuff that you can use in other ships, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. In the ARC 170, you get recon spec. You get a couple of really good pilots. In Sabine TIE Fighter, you get Captain Rex, which is the best 14 points in the game. In the YT 2400, you get the Lone Wolf Dash build pretty much out of the box. Depending on what kind of crew you want to run with that. You can run Lando, which comes in the box, or Kyle Katarn and stuff like that, but you need other packs for that. And in the Skirg Bomber, you get Captain Nim. You only get run Rebel Pilot in that pack, but it is really solid.
It is a good ship.
Absolutely.
It's holding pretty well in the meta right now.
Absolutely. And even on the Rebel faction, just with its one and only pilot, it is fantastic. But not a lot of options in any of these ships. They're just all really good ships. And again, if you love the look of them, absolutely get them if you want to fly Rebels. But the ships we're going to talk about today in the list that we've made offers a lot more in terms of playability, in terms of not just competitive play, but casual play. You get a lot of cool builds, you get a lot of really good cards that work on different ships, and you got a lot of different build options on the ship itself.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing we want to talk about. So let's move on to this. Let's talk about the single ship packs you can get that are really good for new Rebel players. Why don't you start off, Justin?
So we've got here the K-Wing expansion pack. So in this we've got Miranda, which is amazing.
Yeah, pretty much the only named pilot you'd want to use on the K-Wing for sure.
Yeah. And then we've also got Advanced Slam, which has been errated, but...
Indeed. Now I should mention as well, because we talked about this in a previous video, in newer version of the K-Wing pack, this actually has the correct text on it.
Oh.
I have to make correction on that because I said newer printings don't use corrections, which has been true up to this point. But the newer K-Wings actually have the correct text on Advanced Slam.
That's actually really good then.
It's not related to this video, but thumbs up for FFG for doing that.
Yeah,
very big props.
I'm surprised and impressed.
Absolutely. In fact, pretty much all the upgrade cards you get in this pack are completely usable.
Yeah.
A couple of copies of TLT, which is so good for so many ships, including the K-Wing. Plasma torpedoes, really good. It's a 3-cost torpedo. It's probably one of the weaker torpedoes you can use, but because it costs 3 points, it can be thrown onto a lot of builds very effectively.
Yeah.
Extra munitions makes...
everything better.
It makes munitions on a lot of different ships actually playable.
Yeah.
A Connonet, which is just... frustrating. Advanced homing missile. It's a fun splashy card. Not very competitive, but cool. Bombardier, probably made irrelevant by newer bombing cards, but a nice card to have nonetheless. Miranda and Warden Squadron Pilot, both good pilots. I wouldn't bother with the other two, but all in all, sort of 80 to 90% of what you get in the pack is completely playable.
Yeah.
And from the point of view of a casual player, that's fantastic because there's lots of different builds you can go for. From the point of view of someone who wants to get into competitive X-Wing, you get Miranda Doney, and without question, that is a fantastic pilot.
Yeah.
It's in the upper echelons of the meta. It took the American Nationals, Miranda Nim recently. It's going to continue being in the meta for years to come.
Yeah.
Or maybe not years to come, but for a long time at least. We don't know what the meta's going to do in the next few waves. But the K-Wing overall is a fantastic pack and absolutely worth looking at. One of the more expensive single ship packs at $20 US. But well worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. So next is the Ghost expansion pack. Now, we do say it's a single ship. It does technically come with a...
It comes with the Phantom, yes.
Yeah, this thing is... Oh, it's good.
It's really good. It's really good. It's a big base, borderline epic size ship, which gives you so much stuff out of the pack. Let's have a look at what you get in that pack. And yeah, there is just so much value out of this pack.
Yeah. It's one of the more expensive, larger base ships.
It is expensive. However, you get a lot of cool stuff in this ship. You don't just get the big ship, you get the small Phantom.
Yeah.
Which is good by itself.
Yeah.
Some builds actually just use the Phantom without the Ghost. Especially with newer cards that come with the new Phantom. It's still relevant. What I love about the new Phantom, which we'll talk about in a second, spoiler alert, the old one's still relevant and the new one's relevant, but in different ways. You can fly them together. There's absolutely no issue with doing that. They have some really cool parts, and just the upgrade cards you get in this pack is nuts.
Yeah, I think if you're a Rebels fan and this is something that you want to start off with...
Oh, absolutely. And why wouldn't you be? Rebels is an awesome show.
Yeah.
Just a bit of an aside there. You get all the characters as pilots for either the Ghost or the Phantom, and some of them in crew cards as well. And in terms of those crew cards, you get Kanan Jarrus, which is a top-tier crew. You get Sabine Wren, which is a top-tier crew. Ezra Bridger might become more relevant because of the recent printing of Maul.
Yeah.
Perhaps. We get the crew version of Chopper, which is cool. Really good on a lot of Lothal Rebel builds. Zeb, again, a good low-cost crew, which may become more relevant when newer ships come out. It basically means when you're touching another ship and you're both in each other's arc, you can shoot each other, which is a lot of fun. A lot of cool design space going to that card.
Oh, Hera is good.
Hera's good, but not amazing, but it's a different kind of build. It's a different kind of thing. You can execute red maneuvers. The Hera pilot on both the Ghost and the Phantom means you can flip the dial around to different maneuvers of the same color.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It's not a top tier thing, but from a more casual point of view, that's exciting. It gives you a lot of cool interaction with your dial. It's great for new players because that kind of ability really plays around with the way you fly. It means you can change dial on the fly and react to your opponent. You get to learn how that kind of interaction works.
You're better understanding speeds and distances. And
Absolutely. And that's a really cool ability. I don't think it's good for top tier play, basically because the better you are, the less you are going to want to change your dial because you'll just do good maneuvers anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture between Kanan and the Lethal Rebel.
The Lethal Rebel. Even Chopper sees play in some weird builds because of his disgusting stress mechanics. You use the title to get free shots in a turn, use Auto Blaster, Accuracy Corrector. You smash into their face, you use Zeb. You shoot them regularly with Auto Blaster, they take 2 damage, they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You use the title to get another shot. You just do 4 automatic damage. The Chopper build is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I strongly recommend anyone who watches this video, if you're a total butt, run the Chopper build. I hate it, but it's good fun. You get a lot of good bombs in this. You get cluster mines, Coronet, and thermal detonators. Even though neither of these ships naturally have a bomb icon, it comes with Sabine Wren, which is just another stupid explosive crew card for the Rebels.
Yeah.
Has only gotten better with the printing of the Resistance Bomber. I've played against that. That combo with the Rattle condition from that pack is just...
so much damage.
Yeah, this pack offers a lot. It's expensive, but it offers a lot. You basically only need this and one other ship to get some really fun builds. And even in that very limited design space, there's a lot of different things you can do. Any ship that costs sort of 30-ish to 40-ish points can be flown along the Ghost to a great effect. If you want to buy 2 Ghosts and run 2 Lethal Rebels with a cheap ship, that's also a very powerful build.
Yeah.
A lot of design space is offered for this for both casual and competitive players. And I think it's just a great pack.
Next, we have the ascetic gunship.
Yeah, man.
This is
great.
Nice. I like it. So with the ascetic gunship, you've got 3 good pilots. Cards in the pack are a bit meh, but you do get Wookiee Commandos and Selflessness.
Yeah, I would say half of them are good and usable. Tactician's fantastic. A really welcome reprint.
Yeah.
Especially on the Rebels.
Breach Specialist as well.
Yep. Very powerful card in Epic.
Yeah.
Potentially good in some 100-point builds. I've seen it get used on the ascetic gunship, and it's just good.
Yeah.
I think Intimidation is a fun card to play around with. I don't think it's a great APT. I think Hull Upgrade is just bad.
Yeah.
I do not shy away from the fact that I think Hull Upgrade and Shield Upgrades are just bad cards. A lot of new players tend to go for these cards because they let your ship survive potentially a turn more in some very, 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 very rare situations. But you're better off spending those points on making the ship more efficient. If you do that, they'll probably survive more anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a fan of this. But having said that, the rest of the cards in this pack are really cool. You get Lorik. Lorik is just a stupid good card at the moment.
Yep.
You get Wolfwara. Wolfwara is an exciting pilot that you can build around. Even Kashyyyk Defenders. If you guys watch my Australian Nationals Top 16, the runner-up ran 4 Kashyyyk Defenders with Wookiee Commandos.
Yeah.
And just looking at that build, it's solid. You get, 36 hit points on the board for that. Wookiee Commandos is a very light buff to your attacks, but it's a very welcome one. Again, Reinforce is just so powerful. Using it turn after turn after turn. Lorik, Wolfwara, there is so much really cool design space with this ship. I will say, and this is full disclosure, this is a very powerful ship right now. Perhaps if you happen to be watching this video, say, in the Christmas of 2018, it won't be an amazing ship. And I think it's worth researching that fact because right now, I will say, this has good casual value and amazing competitive value.
Yeah.
So if this ship drops out of competitive play because other ship comes along that just really counter it really hard, it probably will fall off this list. I'm very happy to say that. But right now, I think this is just really solid and offers a lot.
So we also have the Phantom 2 expansion pack.
Yes, now we're moving into the new ships, Justin. And spoiler alert, we're talking about both of them because both of them are a lot of fun.
I almost reckon all 4... probably 3.
Yeah, not
3. Never Zeb.
Never Zeb. Zeb is a pointless print in this pack.
Yeah. But AP5 is amazing.
AP5 is incredible. There's no doubt about it.
Ezra gives you the ability to use Maul.
Yes. I would say that the original Phantom Ezra is probably just a bit more playable because that ship is better at attacking. But having said that,
But this has a refiring arc.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There are arguments for and against.
Yeah.
But if you want the coordinate kind of build with Ezra thrown in there, it works.
Yeah.
Fen Rao is just stupid powerful.
Yep.
It's a great card. It's really working hard in Rebel builds, sort of handshake builds, locking down your opponent. It's doing so much work.
Yep. And then you've got Chopper, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Maul, Courier Droid.
And look, I know what you're doing here, Justin. You're looking at these cards going, which cards are good? These are 6 really good cards.
Yeah. Like,
there are no bad cards in this pack, apart from the Zeb pilot.
Yeah.
But who cares? Because you get 3 really good pilots on top of that. I talked about the 5 best cards I thought that were coming out in Wave 12, 13. More got an honourable mention because it's a very powerful card. Well, less powerful, more explosive and splashy, and will have good build-arounds. But I do not shy away from the fact that I think Flight Assist Astromech is the best card coming out in these waves. Just a really good, powerful card, potentially undercosted at one point, giving boost and barrel rolls to all your generic ships that can take Astromechs. So good on T-70 X-Wings, so good on T-65 X-Wings. Just really good on Y-Wing with BTLA-4. That and TLT. I don't shy away from the fact I think this is the best card to be released in the last week.
And the ship looks cool.
The ship looks really cool. Oh, and you haven't seen, because you didn't come to the release tournament, the model is fantastic. It is...
I'll tell you what I saw recently. Chopper is actually on the
he
ship.
is too!
Yeah, little orange dot.
I've looked at this model, I've never noticed it before.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh, I dig that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you just getting back to the cards. All of the cards are either really powerful or have really interesting build-arounds that you can play around with. So for a new player or for a competitive player, this gets a massive thumbs up. This is a really solid ship. Yeah. And if you happen to buy the Ghost as well, which is another ship we recommended, this just gets even better.
Yeah, because you get the Ghost and the Phantom 2 cards.
Yep, absolutely. But in no way a requirement. This can be flown by itself. It can be flown with the Ghost. It gets the free coordinate. It coordinating by itself. I mean, I've said it before as well. AP5 is just explosive. I've now, having said that on the channel, actually played against it in real life. AP5 is legit super powerful. For a PS1 pilot, he's doing so much work.
It doesn't surprise me. He's
just so good. I thought it was going to be awesome, and now I've played against it. It is awesome. And it's a super good pack. Yeah, absolutely. Go and buy it if you want to fly Rebels. It's not going to be the ship that punches the hardest on your list, but it's going to do so much work regardless.
Yeah, definitely.
Do not overlook, and this is a message for new players, do not overlook support ships. Fly support and aces together, or just ships that punch well together, like this and the other tuck together. They're just holding hands and having a great time. I think like AP5 and Wolf Warrow would be a great build together. It just makes so much sense.
And finally, with the single ship packs, we've got the Resistance Bomber.
Yeah.
So many bombs, ordnance silos.
Again, this just came out a week ago as the time of recording this. I'm really dating these recordings, aren't I, by saying stuff like that. Just really good. You get a lot of great value in terms of the upgrades you get. The ship itself is super playable. I will say that I was very skeptical of it. Well, not skeptical, more cautious, because at the end of the day, if you want to go heavy on Rebel bombing, and if you want to be a bomber pilot, you go Rebels, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to consider that this is taking up a very valuable slot in the faction that could be taken by either Nim or Miranda. But as I've seen firsthand, this actually works really well alongside of either of them.
Yeah, what was you said earlier?
Oh, I flew against a guy flying Crimson Leader, Captain Nim, and AP5.
And the AP5 had Sabine Wren.
Sabine Wren, so it was also a bomber.
It's disgusting.
By the way, Gareth, if you're watching, good stuff, man. And yeah, it's just really good. And I think look, even if you don't want to fly the top tier list, you're still getting something that's really powerful. And as a new player, you're getting a lot of value out of this pack. You're getting the trajectory simulator and all these bombs which can go on these ships, and you still have something that you can play around with these lists.
Yeah.
Crimson Leader is great. The Rattled Condition card, alongside something like Sabine Wren, does a lot of work. All of these are great. I don't know about the generics yet, but all the named pilots have interesting build-arounds.
Yeah.
Crimson Leader in particular, I think, is just going to be a nuts card. You look at all the upgrade cards you get with this. You get 2 Cononets, seismic charges, and thermal detonators. You get bombs. You get real bombs in this pack.
Bombs for days.
Absolutely. 2 copies of Advanced Optics, another card which I said is one of the best cards to come out in this wave. I still think that, having played around with these cards. Trajectory Simulator, you get 3 copies. You're only ever going to want 3 copies. At the very, very most, I think 1 is enough, personally. For Captain Nim, it's good on this ship as well. I don't think you're ever going to need 3 of them, but hey, you've got them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Maybe one day, like, really low value resistance bomber, really low value K-Wing.
Perhaps.
And a Nim. Maybe.
But the Warden Squadrons took a big hit with the Advanced Slam nerf.
Yeah.
But you could fly 2 of these. I don't think you can quite squeeze it in with Captain Nim. But you could get in 3 low-cost bombers or 2 of these and a Phantom 2, for example.
And then have the formation card as well.
Yes, the tile that comes with is great. Ordnance Silos. I think Ordnance Silos for me is the card that pushes this ship over the edge in terms of power.
Yeah.
It makes it playable.
Definitely.
And yeah, just really great cards with this. Again, great prints, great reprints, great upgrade cards, bomb reprints, Advanced Optics, Trajectory Simulator, FFG. Gave us a real good pack of cards with this. So you get a great ship. Might not be top tier in terms of competitive play, but in terms of playing around with casual builds and stuff like that, absolutely 100% this pack is fantastic.
Yep.
And could even be super competitive. We will see how it evolves in the meta.
So we will now move on to some of the packs that we can get. There are only 2 packs as of this recording.
Well, there are 2 ace packs.
Yeah.
There are also epic packs, but I am... Look, it's just my personal opinion. I'm not big on buying epic ships to get the fixed packs out of them, especially for new players. I'm not a fan of the fact that we have to buy epic ships to get cards that are only relevant in 100-point formats. I just think it's not entirely fair. I get it. FFG want to sell their epic ships, and that's why they do that. That's fine. An epic play is fantastic, but all in all, I would not buy the Rebel Transport to get the X-Wing cards. Even though you get R3A2 in it, fine. But moving on to the actual ace packs, I think both of the ones available are actually really fun.
Oh, easy. So we've got the Rebel Aces expansion pack. So this comes with the A-Wing and the B-Wing, and both of those ships just look good.
Yeah, the models themselves are fantastic for sure.
Yeah. The pilots are good.
Yeah, the pilots are good. Absolutely, you get all the relevant generics for the A-Wing. There's the Green Squadron pilot. You get Jake Farrell as well, which is a great ace. For the B-Wing, you get Kane Farlander, which is a fantastic pilot for sure.
Yeah.
It is worth noting as well that in the original version of both of these ships, they weren't super playable. But if you just buy this expansion pack, you get playable versions of the ships. You don't really need to buy the original versions, which is good.
Yeah.
It was the same with Imperial Veterans. That's one of the reasons I think it's a great pack, is because you don't actually have to buy the original version of the ship. But if you happen to have it anyway, you can fix that original version as well.
Yeah, it gives you the option to do both.
Absolutely. And on that note, I actually will say, just before we move on, if you buy this pack and you happen to love the A-Wing builds, go and buy an original A-Wing as well. But not before you buy this pack.
Yeah.
Because the original A-Wing comes with Deadeye and Push the Limits. And some relevant pilots. You get the Green Squadron pilot in that as well, which is awesome. But you get in this pack 2 copies of all the fixes, which means if you have an original A-Wing, you can fix that as well and fly 2 of them. And they're good fun. They're good fun, low-costed ships. Very efficient, can take 2 APTs. Shard and refit makes them very affordable. And it's just a fun chip overall. Jake Farrell is a card that a lot of people love to play. He's a very, very fun ace. He's a pilot skill 7 with an APT, and after you get a focus token or perform a focus action, perform a free burst of barrel roll. It's not super powerful, but it is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun, and again, it's a new player thing. Giving yourself lots of actions, giving yourself a lot of stuff to play around with is good for new players because it's a good learning tool. Definitely. And Jake Farrell's fantastic. He's good competitively, and he's good casually as well, which is something I really want to drill home with this. A lot of competitive players may be watching this video going, oh, why is he recommending that? And a big factor when deciding these things is we want things that are actually good for casual play as well, because they'll help you learn and they'll help you understand the power level of cards.
Yeah.
It'll help you transition into a competitive player later if that's what you want to do. As we were saying, Kain Farlander possibly has renewed relevancy with Darth Maul being printed.
Yep.
Which is great fun.
Jan Ors.
Yep, Jan Ors and Kyle Katarn. It's great having the crew slot on the B-Wing. That's the fix, quote-unquote, that came with this pack. But it is not crucial to make the B-Wing work. I think the B-Wing likes crew. But more to the point, Jan Ors and Kyle Katarn are just great Rebel crew.
Yeah.
They continue to be great, even though this pack is so old. It doesn't matter. Kyle Katarn's still awesome. He has an interesting little combo with Darth Maul, which I talked about when we were talking about brewing with Darth Maul. I think Kyle and Darth Maul, the ability to get to clear stress twice a turn and get 2 extra focus tokens a turn is just great. It's very, very silly. Very silly. Shard and Refit and A-Wing Test Pilot are both great fixes for the A-Wing. You get enhanced scopes. Not a great card. It's okay. The B-Wing fix is okay. You get some proton rockets. Some proton rockets are fun in certain builds. They're definitely applicable to other ships, which again is what we're talking about mainly here. But overall, a great pack. If you have any interest in A-Wings or B-Wings, just get this first. Don't get the A-Wing or the B-Wing in its single ship form first. Get this first, and if you enjoy the ship, then get extra singles afterwards.
And then finally, we have Heroes of the Resistance.
Oh, the minis are fantastic.
Yeah.
First mini to get engine wash on the actual mini itself. FFG made a point of making the Falcon a good model in this, which is great because in terms of people just wanting to buy stuff for the sake of having a quality miniature, the Falcon was always going to be something that someone looked at. Long ago, before I started playing X-Wing, I worked in a shop that sold X-Wing products. I saw the Millennium Falcon on the shelf and I thought, you know what? For $50, that's a good model of the Millennium Falcon. And the same thing applies to this. For an outside person who does not play X-Wing, that's very tantalizing. Because you get a really good Millennium Falcon mini in this pack, which is appealing to modelers as well as gamers.
Well, I think not only that, you also get the black one as well.
Yeah,
and
the paint job. Yeah, it's really solid.
Yeah.
You get, again, I have to harp back to this. For casual play, big tick. For competitive play, big tick. You can just buy this and play it out of the pack.
Yeah.
There is 100 points worth of value out of this. And this is what I'm talking about those core sets before. If you want to just buy something and play, get this. Don't get a core set. Like, if you want to enter a tournament, buy this and ask your opponents really nicely if you can use their templates. Absolutely. I mean,
they may call you a scum player, but you know.
That's okay. Because you can't actually get 100 points out of a core set for either faction, Rebel or Imperial. And this gives you 100 points. You can go Han Po. You can make Han Po builds out of this pack. I will say that those builds get much better when you get other upgrade cards, but it's perfectly doable.
Yeah.
You get Rey and Finn, as in Rey the pilot and Finn the crew. And that combo is disgusting. There's no doubt about it. Both unique crew in this. Finn and Rey are both highly playable cards. Hotshot Co-Pilot, I've seen work in some builds. Not super great, but it's okay. Yeah. M9G8 allows you to lock friendly ships, and then you can spend target locks on ships to get them to re-roll any amount of attack dice.
Ooh.
That's friendly or enemy. Yeah. A very interesting card, has some cool build-arounds. A single copy of Prime Thrusters, something I'm very salty about because I really want this card. And I don't want to buy this pack just for Prime Thrusters, but it's a great card nonetheless. Snapshot, fantastic. Trick Shot, fantastic. Black One, awesome. Millennium Falcon, the new one, very relevant with Rey. Yes, you play that alongside Kanan, which allows you to get rid of that stress straight away. Borderline broken combo, but it is very powerful nonetheless. Pattern Analyzer, excellent card. Integrated Astromet, excellent card. Smuggler's Compartment, relevant in some builds with Dash for sure. And Burnout Slam, a card I wish I had in a scum pack because it gives you it's an illicit card which gives it a one-off slam action.
Yeah.
Which is great. There is nothing in this pack which is just uninteresting.
No.
All of the T-70 pilots, while they may not all be super competitive, are interesting. Give you a lot of interaction with the board state.
Yeah.
9 Numb doesn't get stressed when you're in range one of an opponent. that has some amazing builds that are borderline
Broken.
I wouldn't say
not quite
broken. You have to
yeah.
really fly it to make it work.
Yeah.
But like with Snapshot and R3A2, because you take that range 1 shot and you lock them down with stress before they have a chance to take an action.
Ugh.
It's gross. Blah. Snap Wexley, you get free boosts and barrel rolls. Jess Parva is like a rebel version of Boba Fett, because you get re-rolls on your attacks and your defense for every guy at range 1. Was great in Fairship Rebels because obviously you fly that in box formation and you get everything at range 1, so Biggs and Lowrick and all that stuff works. It's just a great pilot nonetheless. You can still fly things in box formation and get a disgusting amount of rerolls for Jess Parva. It's the Boba Fett that you have control over.
I like the way you say that.
Yeah. And that's really it's really in character for Rebel builds, which I quite like as well. And all the generics, again, they're all playable. Blue Squadron Pilot is good, has a great 4-off build in Birdo's Baby Blues.
The problem is, though, you've got to buy so much extra stuff for that.
You do, but at the very least, you're not relying on this to get that. If you happen to buy this, it's great. And I gotta say, just back on the subject of core sets as well, if you want to get an X-Wing, if you want to get a T-70, buy this. And you also get a Millennium Falcon with a bunch of relevant pilots and builds. Even the single T-70 pack is better than buying the core set. And again, I have to harken back to the idea is if you really want to get the FFG templates and dice or whatever, great, do that. If buying them all separately would cost you the same anyway, if you can get a core set on sale for like half price, get it.
Yeah.
Because $25 for the dice and templates alone is fantastic. And you get the minis, which are relevant. But if you want good T-70 builds out of the gate, just get the single T-70 by itself, or get this. I think between this and the Phantom 2 or the Ghost, they're probably like the best things you can get. Just in terms of raw value out of the pack, for sure. And I gotta say, overall, this recording has gone for 40 minutes.
Wow.
And I'm not surprised because the Rebels probably have the best value out of their packs.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And there's a great reason for that. Partially because Scum are newer. Scum have a few particularly explosive ships, which we'll talk about in the next video. But you got to remember, Rebels are the good guys, Justin. So they have the most unique characters. They have the most interesting combinations because of that.
That is true.
And yeah, they just offer the best packs out of the pack. We're going to talk about less stuff with Imperials, mainly because Imperials have fewer upgrade cards, because their ships are more efficient. That's just part of their design. And for that value, you want to focus on Imperial ships that give you the best sort of builds in pack.
Yeah.
But with Rebels, you always get good stuff for other ships. That's just the way the faction's built. And it just means that their expansion packs have better value. That's just how it is. Sort of the same with Scum, but to a lesser extent. And look, I would say if you are completely agnostic over which faction you want to get into, I think Rebels are a great option because of that. Yeah. When I got into the game back in Wave 7, Scum didn't have a lot of ships, and I got into them because I was able to buy every ship within a certain faction and play around with that archetype. Now they're all caught up. Every faction has pretty much the same amount of ships. For that reason, Rebel is a great one to look at because you get so much interesting stuff. Yeah. And particularly for casual play, you get so much value out of these packs. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We'll do the Scum video of this real soon.
Like and subscribe, like our Facebook.
And we'll catch you later.
Bye.